It's taking a second. Hey guys, welcome. Extremely excited to have you here. And we have a very special guest with us, is Chris from AnywherePOD. Super excited to have you here.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I appreciate it. Excited for our call today and what we're going to talk about. This is great.
Yeah, this is great. I'm excited. All right, guys. So before we get started, I'm sure a lot of you might have noticed that bundles are all the rage and product bundles on Etsy. But obviously, when it comes to doing it manually, it's a lot of work up front. So I'm so excited that Chris is taking the time to walk us through the step-by-steps required to do that. We have a lot of folks like saying hi. Hey, Deborah, how's it going? Nice to see you. So without further ado, I'm going to share first and foremost some ideas of products that you might have seen on Etsy that are good. I don't know what just happened. I don't know what just happened. I've been talking to myself this whole time. All right. Hey, sorry about that.
Yeah.
My computer just crashed out of nowhere. I was like talking to myself
Oh,
all the time. I don't know.
interesting.
Anyway,
Sometimes these live streams have a mind of their own. But we're both back on now, so we should be set.
yeah, so sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, sorry.
All right, cool. So no, I was talking about some best-selling products that are doing quite well for the summer. The beach blankets, which are available with Printify and also Shine On, are quite the rage and doing really well. I mean, this listing right here was just uploaded a few months ago. They've already generated $53,000 in revenue. Then you have the wedding gift personalization of these coaster sets, which are available on Printify. Obviously, not these exact ones. And then what's really interesting, though, about these coaster set is that they come with a cutting board. So that's actually a really nice gift. And by the way, the other thing I want to mention, and this is just food for thought, is having different bundles than your competition. Obviously, it has to make sense and it has to jive with whatever the occasion is. But that can be a really great way to differentiate yourself from your competition, especially when we are in the world of POD and anything can make the difference, right? Like sometimes it's just as simple as taking a product that's doing well and adding that personalization layer. But then sometimes, especially in marketplace as of today, like having a different kind of product bundle can make all the difference as well. So this was like really interesting. They've made $272,000 with that specific product. And then we have these hoodies, which have been doing quite well. Believe it or not, these hoodies are actually a little less, they're less than a year old. Like they were uploaded 9 months ago. They actually completely went viral for Christmas last year. And this is really something simple where it's just like literally a Roman numeral along with the initials of the couple. So it's like a great like his and hers. And I mean, it's almost generated $1 million. This can easily be done with any apparel POD. The embroidery is available with Gelato, and also it's also available with Printify. So anyways, yeah, Shield Maiden, thanks for your patience. I know I was live, and then I was like, hey, Chris, and Chris didn't respond. I was like, okay, we're not live. I was like, anyways. So needless to say, there's just a lot of opportunities when it comes to product bundles and optimization and personalization. Part of the issue is, especially when you start getting a lot of these orders, is that it's a lot of manual work, right? And this is where AnywherePOD can come in and help you. So this is another opportunity I wanted to share, by the way. This literally was launched just, I mean, a month and a half ago. This was a bestseller for Father's Day. These are a grilling plate, which are available inside the AnywherePOD platform. It's Deco Plate. And this is very simple. And so I wanted to share this for you guys because this has an opportunity of doing a his and hers, especially for Christmas. So like, I was like, okay, I really want to share this because the revenue is really healthy here. And if it did well for Father's Day, then we have data that obviously it's going to do well all throughout the year. It's going to do well for Christmas. And there's also an opportunity to make this even better and create a his or hers version, which, by the way, I have not seen this. So whomever's watching this, I would take this idea and run with it. Feeling really generous today. But needless to say, so you're probably wondering, okay, so how am I uploading these product bundles? How do I personalize them so I can start making more money? So this is where Chris comes in with AnywherePOD, which, by the way, guys, if you're watching today, this is going to help the channel. Make sure to use my affiliate link, which is here above. So Chris, without further ado, I'm going to let you share your screen. I'm going to stop sharing mine. And I'm going to see if anybody has questions while we wait.
Yeah, that sounds great. I'll pull that up, share my screen here in a minute. I guess first I kind of wanted to mention along the examples that you were showing, one of the ways that I like to think about it when you're thinking of bundles and what goes well. One area to think on too is a lot of people will have kind of different price limits that they're willing to spend on a certain occasion. So like, they'll say, okay, for a wedding gift, I usually spend between 50 and 75, for example. So if you're doing something that fits into that wedding niche that is less than that, you're potentially leaving money on the table because they're going to buy that gift from you. But now they got to think, okay, now how am I going to fill out the rest of this gift? Because it can't just be this one gift. But if you're giving them that option available in your listing that, oh, hey, like not only is it 20, but I can finish my shopping today for this person, whether it's wedding, Christmas, whatever. Everybody kind of has those limits for loved ones, right? And if you can kind of get your bundle pricing tiered in that manner, where you're going to kind of be that one-stop shop for them on that one listing, it's very easy for them. One click, they're done, buying for that person. That can really be a big benefit there as well. So just kind of one way to think about when you go to put these bundles together.
Yeah, I mean, so a really good trick to do that, guys, is like kind of look at what your competition is doing a quick search based on what you see, and obviously what you're trying to do as far as like bundles. A lot of time, there's just like a really dirty hacks that I've seen a lot of apparel POD do, where they create a product that is like lesser. So I've seen that actually with the beach towels, where they have a hand towel for $9, so people are more likely to click, but then the hand towel is actually out of stock. So it's a dirty little hack. I'm just putting it out there because a lot of time people get frustrated. They're like, oh, but how are they selling it for so cheap? Well, no, if you actually click on the listing, you'll see that they're applying these hacks. But so the reason I bring this up is because Chris actually brings a really good point. If you look at your competition, some of these bundles absolutely are $55 and above. And perhaps you can shave like $10 off just to rank your listing, and just like taking a cut up front to rank your listing. And then you can bring the price up, or you can have like different options for your customer. Because also the way you can set up your listing as well, and I've seen that done, is you can have just like the one item. So let's say the example I shared with you, like the coaster plus the cutting board, those are actually two options. So either you just get the coasters as a bundle, right? And so that's like a smaller price, like $24 or whatever that is. But then if you decide to add on the cutting board, then it's more. So exactly what he's saying, instead of having customers, because especially like on Etsy, your listing is your website. So if you have the opportunity of creating those upsells directly in your listing, that's going to give you an edge, because somebody might be like, okay, this is how much I'm willing to spend, but maybe they're willing to spend more if they're like, oh, there's more added value here.
Yep. And that's exactly what when I get in the demo here in a second, I'll show you that. But we make it very easy to set that up. So for the example that you just gave, you'd very easily in your variant drop down selection, they would be able to select, do I want the coaster? Do I want the cutting board, or do I want both and get the bundle?
Mm-hmm.
So it makes it really easy to set that up. You can have your primary picture be one of the bundle, show the pricing. It's going to show the pricing for whichever one's cheaper, get you that higher click-through rate. So you're kind of still doing that same example that you described that some people do with the tea towels, except you're actually offering all those products, so you don't feel like you're doing anything shady when you set it up that way. So it's a great way to help with some of your rankings too. So
Yes.
all right, let me pull up my screen here, and we'll get into a couple examples. And if people have questions along the way, or feel free to drop questions in at the end, happy to answer any questions as well. So let me just share my screen here. Okay, should be pulled up here, right?
Oh yeah, one sec.
Oh yeah, you need to add it, I think.
I need to add it in. Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
There we go.
Talking.
Perfect. Great. So some people on the call may not have heard of AnywherePOD, so just the real kind of quick and dirty. We are primarily a personalization app for Etsy or Shopify. Make it very easy to do personalization on any of those platforms, from text to images to clip art. But then we also have a suite of additional tools that kind of help you manage your listings, which is kind of one of the ones we're talking about today with bundling. But we also have features with mockups and being able to do different variations on a listing and lots of different things. We've done some demos with Luna before, so if you're watching this on YouTube, you can go to her channel and search AnywherePOD and be able to learn some more about us. Or of course, you can check out our YouTube channel as well. So the first thing we're going to do today, we're going to do Mr. and Mrs. Wine glass set. So we're going to do it as a wine glass for the Mrs. And then we have a Mr. version that we can do on like a Pilsner glass, and then give the customer the option on which one they want, or also being able to do that then as a bundle. So to do that, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to come in here to our Printify product list. And we're going to go to our glassware category here. And let's start off with the wine glass, which is right here at the bottom. And we're just going to go into start designing. So this is just kind of building our first initial product offering. So if you're familiar with AnywherePOD, it's the exact same process as what you're used to. I'm not showing anything new yet. So we'll go to upload artwork here, and let me find, here is my Mrs. Design. Okay. So we have that added, and then we just have a spot here for the year that they were married. So we'll add a text field here that we can put in a year here kind of as a placeholder. Okay, and we'll mark that as personalized. So we know that that's when they enter personalization on Etsy, that's the field that gets personalized on the design. And we'll just go to create product. Now that's going to go through and create our placeholder artwork with that date, and also give us all the mockups that Printify has available for the product here. So now we have the wine glass here. So now we want to add an option for the Pilsner glass. So to do that, we're going to go here to add variants. And in this case, we want to do this pint glass here at the top. So we're just going to go to start designing on that one. And we'll go to upload artwork and do our Mr. Design. And then again, we'll add our text field here with the year. And go personalize. And now we'll see down here under variants, we have two variants. This top one here is our pint glass, and then the bottom one's the wine glass. So we're going to update that information here. So this is going to be product. So this is actually changing the name of the drop-down field that's going to show up inside of Etsy. So we don't need them to select a size. We're just going to have them select the product, and then we want them to select whether or not they want the wine glass or the pint glass. And we'll click save on that. Okay, so now this product's set up. Before we added this bundle feature, this is how you would do it. And then if they wanted both of them, they would have to go back and click add to cart twice and kind of do some extra work to figure out how to get both added to their listing. Now what we have is the ability to do bundles down here. So again, very easy to set up. All we're going to do is come down here under bundles, and we're going to click on add bundle. And this is going to give us a list of everything that we've added to this product so far. And so we're just going to select the wine glass and click add to bundle. And then we're going to select our pint glass and add that to our bundle too. So we've got each one then listed down here in the bundle once. We're going to give this a name, just this is just internal, so that if you wanted to do multiple different bundles on a single listing, you can add multiple bundles onto that one listing. So we'll just say wine and pint set. Again, that's just for internal use. And we'll save that. And that's going to create the bundle for us down here now. You'll see we've got one bundle here. Just has the one variant because there's no additional colors or sizes that needed selected for that bundle. And we can see that variant if we go to view update here. You can see under product, it pre-filled this with wine glass / pint glass. It just combined those two together. But I think I'll change this to be wine and pint glass set. And you can set your price here. So you can build in whatever pricing you want for this product. By default, it's just adding the two together that I had previously. So you'll probably want to give it some sort of discount here so that you're encouraging them to purchase the bundle instead of the individual ones. So we'll say just $47.99 for this example. And if you had something with more variants, like if you had colors and sizes, we do have some tools up here that make it easier to kind of set your pricing in bulk so that you don't have to go through and set each one individually. But since this is just one variant for this bundle, we can just edit it here. And so we'll just click save on that.
Quick question for you. So those bundles, can it be with different POD suppliers as long as they're inside the AnywherePOD platform?
Absolutely. Yes, it sure
That's
can. The only
awesome.
thing you want to make sure, and this is really regardless if it's same supplier or different supplier, is that when you do the bundle, you want to make sure that you're accounting for any shipping charges for those products. Right?
Right.
Because in Etsy, we can only set one shipping profile. So there's only going to be one shipping price that we can set on the listing. So
So you'd
any
have to
additional shipping
create like a
charges.
bundle shipping profile, for instance, based on the bundles you create, if you were to do different POD suppliers. Yeah.
Yes, or you would need to just build your shipping price into your
price.
like base cost of your bundle.
Yeah.
If you're because you're going to have that one charge if you're doing so like in this example that I'll show you here in a second, they're going to have the choice between wine, pint, or the set. And Etsy only has they're going to charge the same shipping price in Etsy regardless of which variant they choose.
Got it.
So one good way to do it actually might be to just offer free shipping on the entire listing and build all of your shipping price into the individual product price. That's a little bit of an easier setup, but you're free to do it really however you want.
Yeah.
We see some people that'll basically, you either need to do free shipping like that or charge shipping for what it costs to ship one and then build the shipping price into the other. It's really kind of however you want to set it up that kind of makes the most sense to you.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's it. Everything's built now. So if we come up here and we can just go to create new Etsy listing. Of course, I'd want to set my title and do the tags and all that sort of thing as well. But let me go to view on Etsy here. And if we come down to our variants section now, you can see it added all three variants. So under product, the customer will be able to select wine glass, pint glass, or the set that we just created.
That's
This is
awesome.
personalized. Of course, you'd want to turn on personalization here like you would with any other product. Um, and then when the order is placed and it comes into AnywherePOD, what we're going to do when that order imports, if they ordered the set, we're going to automatically break that out into 2 line items on that order. So you can still do any of the personalization stuff that you need to. And when it gets sent to Printify or Shine On or whoever you're using for fulfillment, it's going to show up to them as the 2 individual line items, and everything's just going to kind of flow through automatically the way it needs to after that.
Because then you're pulling from the personalization field on Etsy.
Exactly. Yep. So you will need to, uh, if you're doing a set like that, the order will go on hold, and you'll
Yeah,
be able to make
until
sure
you
that the
add it in.
personalization is
Yeah.
right on each line item.
Mhm.
Since we're going from 1 in Etsy, and it's converting basically to 2 line items in AnywherePOD. So
Mhm.
it'll automatically place that on hold for you, make sure everything's correct before it goes off to production. So
I love that. That's awesome. Yeah, so
yeah.
really like the sky's the limit here, guys. I would say another thing to be conscientious of is using like a profit calculator tool, just to like make sure that if you are doing 2 different products, that it's not eating too much into your margins, because like not all products are created equal. Some obviously are going to be a little heavier, so they're going to cost more to ship, right? So be conscientious of that. Um, so questions like with the coasters, you could technically do a bundle because there is an integration with Printify. Do you guys have like a cutting board POD available as well, or no?
Yeah, so I know that there's a few glass cutting board options with Printify, and then we
Yes.
also have T-Launch in the
Oh,
system
okay.
now as well. So you can do your
The
engraved
T launch
cutting boards
one.
there as well. Yeah. Yep.
Perfect. That's awesome. So what other example do we want to show them? Should we show them Decaplate?
Yeah, yeah. Let me show a Decaplate example here. That's a really good one because
Not a lot of
let me
people
just
know that supplier. That's
they
why
do not.
too.
They're really kind of a hidden gem, I think, in kind of the POD
I
world because not a
agree.
lot of people know about them yet. So
Yeah, I
your
agree.
competition's not there. You have really good price margins, and now
Mm-hmm.
with the ability to do bundles, this product lends itself so well to bundles because you can
Yeah.
do an entire place setting. So you can do a plate, a bowl, a mug, a laminated placemat, and now they have silverware, and the
Yeah.
silverware ships for free when it's in a bundle as well. So
Um,
it's really just such an added value that can really boost that average order value. Not a ton of competition. Works great across a lot of different niches. That place setting, I'll show you one here in a minute. That's for like a kid's place setting, which works really well because then kids love having that plate and cup that's theirs with their name on it and that sort of
mhm.
thing. And it works really well for that. But this
And
entire
I mean,
product
and there's
line that
data, guys. Like if you do a quick search
yeah,
for, I mean, like I showed earlier when we got started, the Father's Day grilling plate or barbecue plate did extremely well. And part of it is because this is probably was the first time that it was published, because years prior that product was just not readily available on Etsy.
yeah, I mean that's one of the reasons why the competition is lower is
Yeah.
a supplier doesn't have a direct integration with Etsy.
Integration.
So
Yeah.
really the only people that have been selling this product, there were some people previous years doing it kind of more manual way, or had
Yeah.
some other kind of hacks to be able to do it themselves and had VAs working for them and all this stuff. But now with Anywhere POD, we're really able to streamline that process, and
Yeah.
it works so well with personalization, works so well across multiple niches. Um, I think because it's a functional product, but
Yes.
also the decoration method also almost kind of makes it like a home decor-ish type of item as well, where it's more than just a platter. Like, yes, it's functional, so it's nice that you can use it. Um, but like coffee mugs, it's something that you can use, but it's also something that can invoke that feeling, and you're using it, daily. I mean, everybody uses a mug every day. Everybody uses a plate every day. So
Absolutely.
um, they work really, really well. And the quality of these, I mean, the quality of their production is better than anything you can get at any like big box store. Because they're not like, if you go to a big box store, they're made of a product called melamine, which actually, when heated, puts off formaldehyde and is not good for kids or anything like that. Um, these products are all heat safe, chemical free. It's just a really, really good product.
Yeah, guys. And if you just do like a quick search on Etsy, like I'm doing it right now, you do like Mr. and Mrs. Plate or his and hers. There's already like a few ideas that you can leverage, but like there's just nearly no competition. Like
Yep.
I mean, this is just like so many opportunities. I'm seeing wedding and champagne and cake cutting set. So even within that, like there's an opportunity to perhaps like do a twist. I'm seeing personalized bride and groom with dogs. So it's just like a photo of the couple, like a illustration type. So yeah, guys, like if you're really interested in penetrating the wedding niche, like now's the time to do it. And the good news too is that wedding niche like transpires into Q4. It's not the type of thing that just like
Mhm.
ends in July. The reason most people focus on weddings, obviously during the summer season, is because yes, obviously there's a surge in weddings during the summer, but this is like an amazing evergreen niche, which by the way is extremely competitive because everybody knows like there's just a lot of traffic and it's definitely more saturated and there's definitely more competition. So if you're able to find an edge, which deco plates can do that, plenty of opportunities there.
And it's also one of the few niches that, when you look at it on Google Trends, is a lot more stable year
Yeah,
round, because people get married. Yes, there's more weddings. There is a wedding season, and they get, there's more weddings during the summer. But people get married every month of the year. So
absolutely.
it's
Yeah.
one of those that's a lot more consistent than some other niches. So if you find that place where you can break into that, it can be a really, really good niche to get into.
Yeah. Somebody's mentioning, yeah, it's true. In the South, people get married more in the fall because otherwise it's too warm. That's true.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, yep. And they
Yeah. And
also
then guys,
have,
I literally just did a quick search. I literally went on Etsy, did Mr. and Mrs. Plate, and there's just like so many, and there's even like champagne glass or wedding champagne flutes. Like, I mean, so obviously champagne, but like there could be not everybody's into champagne, there could be one where it's just like two beer mugs, plenty of like
yeah.
wedding, like, just different kinds of couples and different kind of audiences. So just looking at that research and looking at what's readily available and how you can make it better, like you are going to find opportunities.
And these two, they call them the C plate and O plate down here. These, I
Hmm.
think, have a really big untapped market in the wedding niche as well. So what these are, it's like an appetizer plate, and there's a little slit cut out here where you can actually slide your wine glass into, so that during, happy hour or whatever, when you're walking around mingling before a wedding reception, you have a plate that you can, hold on to and put your wine glass into, so you're still able to use the other hand to eat and still have your drink. Like, it's a really, really cool kind of party type of product that, again, is very unique and not out there very much.
And I'm going to ask you a question. So obviously here I'm like being very creative, but potentially there could be an opportunity here. So wedding ring holders or just like jewelry dishes are very in. Do you think, having seen the product, there's an opportunity to rebrand some of these smaller plates into a jewelry dish? I mean, obviously you'd have to do like
Oh,
your own photography, but that could be really interesting because like I mean, jewelry dishes, I don't know of any suppliers selling that. So maybe there's an opportunity. I don't know how big the plates are, obviously, but maybe if you order the plates, maybe there's something worth exploring. I don't know. I'm obviously being really creative.
yeah, yeah. No, that's not a bad idea at all. I think that could. They are, they're not like a what I would call like a snack size plate. Like when I compare it to our regular china, it's a little bit smaller than like our normal dinner plates. So it's a 10
Mhm.
inch plate. So they're a fairly decent size, but I could definitely see that um, kind of fitting into that niche. That's a good idea. That wasn't something I had thought of. Even the bowls. I mean, they have a
Yeah,
bit
even the
more
bowls.
of a lip on them, but that could work really well for a jewelry dish for sure.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, you guys would have to like either do the mock-ups using AI and like show that it's a jewelry dish. Like, I'm being very, very creative, but like, there's definitely yeah, or like exactly like for their wallets as well,
Oh
like a
yeah.
banner. I agree. Like, there's potential opportunity if you brand it correctly with your thumbnails. So
Yep.
absolutely,
Yep. And I could see that being a cool design, like on the plate, like you're saying, for like wallets and keys, almost having like in your design sectioned out like a little try or a little rectangle for where the wallet goes and a little picture of keys
yeah.
for where the key goes or whatever. Here's your change spot. I could see that being pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, guys. And that, I mean, that's the thing, like you always have to kind of look at data. And then the second part is like being conscientious of the POD suppliers you have access to. And yeah, like
Mhm.
don't be afraid to be creative because sometimes it's just like putting that design, whether it's like AI or shipping it to yourself, testing it, and you might not be sorry. Like you might like, be pleasantly surprised. Like I've definitely done that in the past. Like I've tried to be creative and it's slowly always worked to my advantage.
Yeah, I could see these working really well during Christmas time for like
Yeah.
Santa's cookie plate.
Yep.
Could work really well for that. Kids dishes, I think, are another really great one. I can show an example of that here in a minute, but that's another really good niche. I think that these could fit really well into.
Absolutely. I agree. Yeah, I'm actually doing the search right now and I'm seeing a few already with the little
Cool. Yeah.
dinosaurs.
Why don't I walk through a quick example
Yeah.
of building one of those and show you what you have available. So I'll just go ahead and start with this plate. So it's going to be a similar process to what we just did with the glassware, except we're going to add what is it, like 5 products to it. Um, so I'll show adding a couple of these, and then I have this product created that we can kind of jump into, and I'll show you the bundle side of it then. So we'll just go here to start designing again. This is on our plate, and I've got my artwork here. Plate, okay. So here's our plate, and then we kind of have a spot down here at the bottom that we'll use for a personalized name. So we'll go ahead and put a name in here.
It's so cute.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is actually this type of design. This is really similar to actually some samples that I got from them because I kind of wanted to see the product. My
Yeah.
kids have been using it for probably at least 4 months now, almost daily. Um, and my 8, 5, and 4 year old have not been able to break one of these plates yet. So I'm pretty
Really? Well,
impressed with
that's
that.
good.
And they haven't faded either. I mean, we obviously throw them in the dishwasher, everything else. The print on them, we kept. So I have 4 kids. We kept the one for the youngest 'cause she's not using plates yet. So I kept that aside so that I could kind of have it as a test to see. I'll let the kids use and abuse, the other 3 sets that I have, and then I can compare it to the one that's just been sitting in the bag for this whole time, and I mean, they look almost identical. You can't tell which one was used and which one wasn't. So they're a really good high quality product. I've been really impressed with them.
And by the way, guys, like, so if you do some research, one of the listings I pulled up earlier, which was like the Father's Day barbecue plate, within their thumbnails, they had a really good one, which is like showcased how the product is versus the competitor, and also showcasing that when you put it in that it's dishwasher safe and that it doesn't fade. Adding those elements does make a huge difference, because it's true, like a lot of time customers are going to think it's plastic. They're, especially when you are selling either glassware or, I mean, anything that's going to go in the dishwasher. Sharing whether or not it's dishwasher safe makes all the difference. And so the fact that it is, this is a huge differentiator to the competition.
Yeah, and having that infographic, I mean, these are microwave and dishwasher safe. They're 100% made in the USA. So everything's made from the raw materials to injection molding to the decoration is all 100% done in the USA. And they are no melamine or BPAs or other harmful chemicals. Those are all great things to call out in an infographic for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. It makes all the difference.
So here's our plate. So we're going to do similar to before. We're just going to come here and change this to product. And then this is going to be our plate. So this is just setting up our different variant options here. So I'll click save on that. And now let's go back and I'll go to add variants, and I will add a bowl design here that is of that same style. Okay, so there is our bowl, and we'll do the same placeholder name and put it on the lip here. Okay, mark that as personalized, and we'll go to update product. So again, just like before, you'll see that we have this for plate and our bowl now. So we're just going to go through, I won't go through now because it's the exact same thing, but you're going to go through that and do that for all the products that you want to add in the place setting. So you'll add the placemat, you can add the coffee mug, the silverware, add that all on here to your one product or listing. And I have that completed here on one that then I can show you how the bundle works. So here's one I've already got added with plate, the bowl, the mug, the placemat, and the silverware all added in here. So now all I need to do is come in here and configure my bundle. So very similar to before, we're going to go to add bundle, and I'm going to do the plate, our bowl, our mug, our placemat, and the silverware. So in this case, we're doing the full set. You can also do multiple different bundles here. So if I wanted to have an option that is just the plate and the silverware, I can make those bundles, configure those to give as many options as I want to the customer. So here I'll just name this my full place setting, so that if I want to come back and add any of those other bundles, I could. And we'll just click on save. And it's going to be very similar to before, give us now a variant here under our bundles. We're going to rename this. Again, it could be whatever you want, like full place setting. The only limit here is that Etsy does limit the length of your variant fields to 20 characters. So that's really your only limit when deciding, how you're going to name this. So here we'll say, we'll just say full setting. Again, you can name that whatever you want. You'll set your pricing here. Now, like I mentioned before, the nice thing here, since we're including silverware, the silverware is actually going to ship for free. So the only thing we're going to need to actually pay shipping on are the other items, and we're going to get a cheaper shipping price on these two since it's coming from the same supplier. You're just going to have to pay that additional shipping charge that's listed on those additional items, and I can show you where to find that information. So we're going to go ahead and just set our price on this, say, what, $94.99, for example, and we'll click save. So we have that configured. We can come in here and select the mockups that we want to display. This one right here. So if you want a mockup of all of the products that are in your bundle, you need to create that mockup yourself and upload it. We do for DecoPlate have a Photoshop file that has the smart layers, so you can just upload your artwork to it and it'll create a mockup for you. So we do have that available for you to use. Otherwise, I would just, like on the pint glass and wine glass, I would just download both those mockups and put them in one file if you wanted, one mockup for those. Okay, so now that we have that, we're just going to go ahead and publish this over to Etsy, and it'll be just like before. If I go to view on Etsy here, under variants, you can see the customer is going to have the choice. Do you want the plate, bowl, mug, placemat, silverware, or the full place setting?
Love that.
And they're able to select which one they want. So
that's awesome. So if you go back, the thumbnail, you created that yourself, right? The one where it's like everything together?
yes, correct.
Got it. Yeah,
Yep.
so essentially you'd have to like download each of the elements and create this like primary thumbnail if you want to show the entire bundle.
So on this one with, that's how you need to do it with most products. You can do that with this as well. We also have this particular mockup that I have here. We have that available. It's a link in our Facebook group as an actual Photoshop file that has a smart layer for each product that you can just upload the file to, and it makes it a little bit easier to configure those bundles. So DecoPlate created that for us so that people selling bundles can get the mockups a little bit easier.
All right, and I'll add that into the comment section of this video so you guys have it too.
Perfect.
Cool. Do you guys have any questions, or do you have any ideas of potential products you'd like to bundle up? This is pretty clear, and it just makes life so much easier instead of having to do it manually, which can be very time consuming. Because the beauty of this is that it enables you to upload more listings and hence have more data, versus when you do it manually, obviously it's taking you multiple hours to test those different bundles. And we know testing is key, and having as many variations as possible available for your customer makes all the difference.
Yeah, I think the other product they could do really well for summertime is like the you mentioned the blankets that Shine On has. They also have like those new tote bags and like that weekender tote bag that you could do a bundle that's, the blanket and the blanket would work well too, actually, for like a picnic blanket. But the beach towel and the tote bag, so you've got your beach bag and your towels with like coordinated designs on it. I think could do really well as well.
I'm thinking bridesmaid, ding, ding, ding.
Yeah.
So that would be huge, like tote bags and beach towels. There's multiple beach towels that have really, really, really healthy, strong sales signals. And they're simple beach towels for girls, either like girls trip or bridesmaid. So if you were to add a tote bag to the mix, absolutely, that would be a huge differentiator and help you rank your listing.
Yeah.
Somebody's asking serving plate with a set of beer glasses or wine glasses. That's really feasible.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that would be cool.
The beer glasses are Printify?
Yes.
Or
yep.
T-Launch? No, Printify.
T-Launch might have them as well. T-Launch they have I know they have a frosted beer mug and a frosted pint glass.
Correct.
Yep. And then Printify has the printed ones that I was showing a few moments ago.
Yeah. I've been doing it for the towel and tote bags and the wallet and insert card. Oh yeah, that's a really good idea, actually. The wallet and insert card. I didn't think of that. Yeah. Absolutely, guys. So when you see a product that's doing well as a solo product, and if you see an opportunity, I mean, it's exactly what Deborah mentioned. Like she's totally nailing it. like thinking of like, okay, this product is selling well, and this is because we know that the metal inserts have done really well for a while, the wallets too. So it's like, oh, if you pair them together, it's actually going to make even more of an emotional gift, and this is like a great way to differentiate yourself without reinventing the wheel, and providing your customer with the option of buying either one or just buying it as a bundle. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yep.
I
And you
loved
don't
it.
have to offer it as the individuals if you don't want to. So like if you're doing a product that makes sense that to just offer it as the bundle, because when you start getting the examples that we showed today were pretty simple because we didn't have a lot
Yeah.
of colors and a lot of sizes. When you start getting into like shirts, you have to start
Yeah.
thinking of, you got the two drop down fields. What do you want the customer to be able to select? So you just have to keep that in mind that sometimes it's going to make more sense just to do the bundle and not offer the individual items, which is certainly feasible and easy to do as well.
Absolutely. No, I agree. I mean, it really depends on, like you said, like how complicated your design is and what you're going
Yeah.
after. I will say that having the individual item is always a good idea simply because it's just like it's a great way to like hack the listing. And
Yep.
what I mean by that is that showing a different price that seems like a really good price. And when people click, they're like, oh, it's not for the full set, it's only for the one item, which,
Right.
I mean, don't like, customers are not going to get like so upset when they find out, like, I mean, because the thing with Etsy at the end of the day is like you're competing for eyeballs, right? And you're competing with other sellers who sometimes have similar products. So this is why, especially when you're going after extremely competitive niches, like, so I'll give you a really great example. The bird flower month, there is several vendors who are selling the glass mug. So it's like the tin glass mug that actually now is available through Printify. There's other POD sellers who sell those. They're great for summer. And so what's really interesting to see is that they're all trying to outrank each other. The best I've seen is like selling for like $7, and then they add on the shipping at the end to like make sure that they get their profit back. But essentially, what they do is that they're trying to so they're trying to just barely break even because they're trying to outrank each other. And then as well, what they do, especially when they know that it's a proven product, and this is definitely more advanced, but I'm just sharing this like as food for thought, right? What they do is that they will, if they know if this is a proven seller, so one thing to do is like you can try to like make a few changes to the design so it's not a complete replica. So a lot of people with the bird mound flower, they'll do like black and white, and I've seen seller doing it with color, right? Or they'll do better photography. Like, so needless to say, it's like you always have to think outside the box, all while not over complicating the process. Like, that's a fine line, because I found that newbies, like, they either find themselves in like two different spots. Either they like completely copy what's out there, not giving enough of a differentiator, so then not able to really rank their listing because it's too similar to what's already out there, or doing something that's just like so different that is not data based, where you're creating a design from scratch. No one's ever tested that design.
Yep.
So it's almost like you're taking a greater risk. I'm not saying that might not work, but you're taking a greater risk. So it's almost like you're trying to be too creative. So you have to find this middle line where it's like, okay, so if this design is doing well, can I create a bundle? Can I add personalization? Just like adding, it's almost like, think of it as like preparing a dish, right? So if you know that people love lasagna, in order to make your lasagna better, maybe you just add like some spice for people who like spice, or like just add one ingredient at a time instead of creating like a completely new kind of lasagna, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, I agree, and that makes total sense, and is a really good analogy, right? Because you're going to have the people that don't want the spice, they want the
Right.
plain Jane that's selling well, and even if that's the top seller, like, you don't have to do better than them. You're okay
Yeah,
with just taking a piece of that pie. You don't have to be number one.
exactly.
Number two still gets really good number of sales too. So
Exactly.
there's going to be little changes like the spices in lasagna that's going to resonate more with different portions of that audience, that they're going to see that and be attracted to it. And you're kind of trying to find those little spices that you can add that's going to just differentiate yourself enough to resonate a little bit more for that portion of the population that's looking for that.
And especially when you're going after these more saturated niches that at the end of the day have way more traffic. So there's still plenty of opportunities for everyone. It's just like knowing what is the right ingredient to take share of the traffic. Because when you're going after these like very obscure niches that don't have as much competition, that's where you find yourself like not having the traffic, right, to sustain it sometimes, right? Or just getting the sporadic sales. So like that's kind of where, going after these like saturated niches has its potential. You're just going to have to test more variation and kind of think a little bit more outside the box, right? So like, again, like I love this analogy. I just came up with it. And so like, I think if you guys like, were you feeling stuck, tell yourself, okay, like what can I add to the lasagna? Right? Which is like a dish that everybody loves, like, okay, like more salt, more this, more that, and don't make it so complicated, because a lot of time I've seen beginners, they tend to do that. They tend to overcomplicate the process.
Yep. And I mean, like we were saying with the with decoplate, that can be with the adding that spice can be as part of the design, and or it can be the product that you're offering too, right? So like
Exactly.
there's lots in the wedding niche that are offering, say, cutting boards, but they're not offering a same or similar design on a platter or
Yeah.
on a plate. So that's like just introducing a whole new ingredient to your lasagna. Everyone else's lasagna doesn't have garlic in it, and now with
Right.
decoplate, you're adding the garlic that is really going to resonate with some people.
Exactly. So if you guys have any questions about using Anywhere POD, do you still do like a trial? I know you were doing that for a little bit.
Yeah, actually, we are actually right now at the end of the month. Again, make sure to use. I don't know if you have your link. You can drop it
Yeah, hold on. Let
into
me
the
share
chat for everybody, or I can
yeah,
pull it
I'll
here.
share my screen. Hold on so you guys can see
Okay.
it. Hold on, present, share screen. Yeah, so this is my, this is my link.
Yeah, so it's just anywherepod.com/Luna. And you should see at the top of the page, if you sign up before the end of the month, you can get your first 30 days for free with AnywherePOD. And then we're just $29.99 a month after that. And your first 100 personalized orders are completely free. There's no per order fee. We try to, let you be able to keep as much of the profit as possible, especially I know for, smaller sellers that can get tough as you're kind of trying to ramp up. And then after your first 100 personalized, it's still only 15 cents an order. So we're still pretty aggressive there on that pricing. I guess I should mention too, I know the kind of two examples that we showed today were personalized bundles, but you can certainly do non-personalized products in Anywhere POD as well. We have a lot of people that, kind of once they get in there, you're able to use our system for all your product building. So if you're going from vendor to vendor, sometimes each vendor is a little bit different on how you need to create products, how you need to upload. So this can kind of give you one spot, kind of the same process, no matter which vendor you're using. Again, whether it's personalized or not. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, think of how much you're saving of time with VAs, because that's something that gets a little tricky, especially when I had a few students who had listings that blew up during Father's Day. And even though, I mean, yeah, they were extremely busy to say the least, trying to manage like 50 orders a day of personalized item, because that was like the specific item that went viral. So then you find yourself in a little bit of a pickle. So obviously it's up to your discretion to figure out where you are in your journey. I will say it's always good to just start little by little. Personalization is something that a lot of people shy away, and it's very unfortunate, because that's partially why people shop on Etsy, and especially in today's marketplace. having that personalization element can definitely give you that extra oomph, right? So again, there's multiple ways of doing this, or there's multiple ways of finding your differentiator, but a lot of time people tend to leave personalization out of the table.
Yeah, and which is unfortunate because really, Etsy's kind of doing the marketing for personalized products for you.
Yeah.
If you look at any of their kind of national campaigns, previous ads that they've run or anything like that, they're always talking about Etsy being the place to go to find that unique, personalized gift for loved ones. And all of the gifts that they show have a name on it or have some sort of personalization tied to it. So people are coming to Etsy already trained that, hey, this is the place that I need to go if I want to get that special personalized product. And they just kind of know, hey, I'm going to need to spend a little bit more because it's personalized, and they're looking for that. So if they're there, like there's a lot of Etsy customers that they're just skipping over the listings that they're not able to personalize because they came there for that specific reason, because Etsy is telling them this is where you need to go for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, at the end of the day, that's Etsy's differentiator. Why do
Yeah.
people shop on Etsy versus shopping on Amazon? Like Amazon, you go on Amazon where you need a quick gift and you're like, oh my God, I forgot it was so and so's birthday or so and so's wedding. Like, let me send this quick gift. Doing personalization on Amazon is such a pain in the butt. There's not a lot of sellers who do it because also Amazon has really strict rules as to how quickly you have to ship items. And Etsy is way more lenient with that. So absolutely, that's a strength. So like think about that, like look at what are other sellers doing. So like everything we discussed today are great ways to 3x your revenue on Etsy. Bundles and thinking of different products that can go well together. If you have data that a listing is doing really well, but it's just one product, like we talked about, the beach towel for bachelorette, can I add a tote bag with it? Is there an opportunity
Mhm.
to add a tote bag? Like, yes, they go well hand in hand. They're great for uh, groups of girls who are going on a bachelorette beach trip. They're going to need a tote bag and they're going to need a beach towel. So there's an opportunity. And then obviously personalization as well. Like, so all these different layers are very simple and can make all the difference.
Yep, absolutely. It's that thing that can make you be not just another drop in the ocean,
Yeah,
and set you apart just a little bit more.
exactly. Do you guys have any questions? Thank you, Chris, for putting this together. This was like a super easy step by step. So you guys have no excuse now. Like this bundle feature is a game changer. Should make your life easier. And also like having access to DecoPlate, which has a little less competition. Guys, another thing I want to mention while I wait, if you guys have questions, is that July is actually the perfect time to get ready for Christmas and start thinking of Christmas. And when I mean Christmas, it doesn't have to be like Christmas theme products, because this is a misconception a lot of people have, to have like Christmas themed item. I actually always encourage my students to do evergreen products that are going to work for Christmas. And the reason being is because you're getting data as to what's going to work and not going to work earlier on than folks who start in September. On Etsy, we know that it does take time to rank a listing and to get data. And so the more, I like to say, like the more seeds you have, right? Like look at Etsy as like a big field of opportunity, and the more seeds you have in your field, the more opportunity you have of seeing like what is actually going to sprout and what is actually going to give you potential. So then once you have that data by mid-August, you're like, okay, this listing's doing decent, I'm getting a few sales, let me create other variations, right? And so this is how you get a head start for Q4.
Yeah, it's always funny starting to talk about Christmas in June and
I
July,
know.
but really when you think about it, and it takes, it can take a few months sometimes to really have a listing start to rank and be able to get some of
Mhm.
that data. And you really, I mean, you can start seeing Christmas sales starting in like the October, November timeframe. You start moving back 2, 3 months before that, and an extra month worth of work. I mean, we're kind of right in that golden zone where it's time to really start putting your plans together and getting things rocking for the Christmas season.
Yeah, because that's the other thing. Like, I mean, obviously you need to have quality listings, but you always want to have more listing versus less, because then it obviously increases your chance of finding that one winner, right? So if you spend now July, I mean, hopefully some of you are a little less busy with work now. You have a little bit more time, or you might have the kids who are like out of school. So yeah, that's a whole different hustle. So I get it, but I'm just saying, like, July, August, usually like things are a little bit more quiet. And so while everybody's like on vacation, I encourage you to like work in the sideline, because it's definitely gonna pay its dues like once September hits.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. It's never too early to get started for Q4. That's for sure. It's going to be here before you know it. And you're going to say, I didn't get as much done as I wanted. No matter how
No,
early
and
you
also
start. So
like
you might as well get started.
absolutely. And I mean, sales start ramping up as early as late August with like back to school.
Oh yeah. Yep.
So that's another thing like we're thinking of for like bundles, like back to school. Like, is there anything you can potentially bundle up? Like people going to college, like getting their dorms ready. Like what's a gift that's done well in the past, and how can you create a bundle? So like expanding from there, like just thinking about, and this is what's so important, guys. Like, I don't know if you do this, but I really encourage you to like have a calendar. Actually, Printful does a calendar which you can download every year, which has like all these important holidays. And I'm not saying like, only do gifts for holidays, but it's just a good insight to like know what those holidays are. So you're ready ahead of time, and you have a strategy in place instead of like always chasing your tail. Right. If at the end of the day, like you always want to have an evergreen product, but if you have data of holidays and it might tap into that evergreen, like that's giving you an edge over your competition.
Yeah. Yeah. Back to school is a good one. I hadn't really thought of that, but being able to do like a matching water bottle with like a matching backpack,
Yeah.
coordinated there could be cool as well.
Yeah. And back to school has good traffic. Like that's definitely
Yeah.
worth thinking into.
Yeah.
All right,
Definitely.
guys. Well, it doesn't seem like you guys have any questions, so I'm gonna let you go. Thanks for watching, and I'll make sure to include the PSD file of the Deco plate bundle that Chris mentioned. And yeah, just let us know if you have any questions, and we'll definitely do more of these because you guys love to have Chris around, and I do too because he's so generous with his time and always loves to gives us full tutorial, which is super helpful.
Yeah. Anytime. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on and for the time today, everybody.
Thank you. Thank Chris.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.